All right. So what's up, everyone? We are here again. And you know what? We are very excited, seriously. And I know I say this all the time, but honestly, this individual here next to me on the right side, Rashad Little, he is known as Mr. R. Little.
Mr. Little, let's go. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
Yes, we actually ran into Mr. Little when we were actually these glasses that I'm wearing. Paris Hilton was having a party and we ran into Mr. Little and oh my God, your style was so off the hook. We were like, who is this guy? And we need to meet you. So that's where we met Mr. Little.
Yes. Yeah. That was about a year ago now.
Yeah, I think it was about a year ago, right?
Yeah. That was a great party too.
It was a really good party.
Really in the hills.
Yeah.
No kidding.
It was literally a party in the hills, the best dress, because obviously Mr. Little was there.
Yes.
And just drinks with Paris Hilton, a couple of margaritas,
amazing.
you know, really great people. And that's where we got to meet you. And I think, you know, people who have really good energy always end up in the same room. You know, I always find myself ending up with really great energies because I feel like I have energy. And so it's so amazing to have you here today. Love it so much.
It's an honor, and I really appreciate you both. You know, from that Paris Hilton party too, I got an iconic photo. I was able to give her a kiss on the cheek.
Oh my God.
No way.
Oh my God.
I'll have to show you all that after
Yes,
this.
it's like saved.
It's like saved in my favorites too.
Oh my God. It has to. Like, who gets to give Paris Hilton a kiss on the cheek? Like,
her husband was really cool, and she was just taking the best. Like, she's amazing. She's amazing. But
definitely.
No, pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
And
loves it.
Let's do it.
Fantastic. Where are you reside? Where are you usually coming from?
So I'm originally from Philly. And then I moved around a bit. I was in the military. My family's still military. So about almost 5 years ago now, we moved to the West Coast from Maryland. That's where my stepdad was stationed at the time.
Got it.
So we moved from Maryland to Washington. And then that's where I kind of got my social media start in Seattle, Washington.
Oh, wow.
And then after the third year there, I just needed a change. It was like post-COVID. I kind of felt like a big fish in a small pond there because I was doing really well with the fashion and influencing, but it just wasn't a big community there.
Okay.
So I was like, I mean, either I could do New York, Miami, or LA. And I was already on this coast. I'm from the East Coast, so LA was the logical choice. So
that makes so much sense too. I know people from Washington, and is it true? I mean, how long did you stay there in Washington?
I was there for like 3 full years.
So is it true what they say about it's very gloomy? It's just
very gloomy. Yep.
Okay.
So I would say from December, well, put it to you this way, from May to about September is when you get sunshine. October is when it starts to get gloomy pretty much until spring.
Wow.
Yeah, you might have some sunny days here or there, but it's definitely their winter is not snow, it's rain. So that's the rainy season. But I will say Seattle has the best summers that I've experienced.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yep.
Okay.
And
that's amazing.
Sure.
No,
we usually hear people are so depressed and you can't do anything out there, but summers are the best there.
Summers are the best. It is a very corporate culture there. There's Amazon, there's Nordstrom, there's Microsoft, and there's not a lot of fashion there because it's more functional. With like you have to dress for the environment, for the for the weather. Yes. So it's not like dress like this. They're like it's gonna rain. What are you doing?
The funny thing is we would still dress like this even in the rain.
But actually, you being a fashion icon and being like in Seattle, you said about 3 years. You know. How was that for you? How did you still, you know, become big in a place where, you know, sometimes there's so many clouds and rain and you can't always be dressed up. You still made yourself big in a place where it's hard to overcome that, right? Because like you said, we can't really be in suits or show the fashion when it's raining outside or there's so many clouds, but you overcame that, you know?
Absolutely. That's the beauty of social media though, is you can do it from anywhere, you know, and they have beautiful falls there. So like my best outfits came in the fall. So that's where I had a lot of my growth. And wintertime is like there you can actually wear like top coats and overcoats and like almost like being in Philly, you get the 4 seasons. So that's a big part of fashion is being able to like be able to show my versatility. So I can dress in the spring, summer, winter, fall. So it actually worked really well for me there. Whereas though when you come to LA, it's sunny a lot here and you can definitely wear the big overcoats and stuff, but you just be sweating. But you know, it's for the culture. But I would say social media definitely just helped me, you know, get my fashion sense out there, you know, Instagram, TikTok.
What's really cool about what you said is a lot of viewers don't realize that social media is the biggest platform and it's free, that people can always, you know, basically market themselves and whether it's fashion, whether it's other aspects of their business.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mind kind of letting us know, how did you fall into that? Did you always want to be in fashion?
Right, because you said your family's from the military, correct?
Yeah.
You know, military to fashion. Yes, I was literally about to ask this question, so we have to know, because you're a fashion icon. You know, military to fashion. Like, how did that come to play?
Of course. Well, I'll just start really from the beginning. Growing up, my mom's always been big into fashion.
Love it.
That's actually where I got my nickname as a kid. She would like dress me in really nice outfits, tuck my shirt in, fresh pair of sneakers on, and I would like go around the daycares and people just be like, "Oh, look at Mr. Little, dressed like a little man."
Oh, wow.
So that was from 5-6 years old.
Okay.
So when I was, picking my username, I was like, I mean, it's already kind of in me. Let's just take that and go to the next level with it. But my mom is the one that really got me into fashion. Like, I'm more relatable, more everyday, can't think of another word, but just, I guess, casual fashion.
Okay, yes.
My mom is definitely like high designer.
Loves
you know, Chloe, Gucci. I mean, she has stuff with still tags on it from years ago when she was working. So she's really heavily into fashion.
Love this.
And it trickled down to me, but I'm just not as high fashion as her, but I like to present myself well.
Love this.
So, when I got out of the military, I worked for a little bit in retail. I've always been working in retail as a retail manager.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, well, you know what, before I get too old, like, let me give this thing a real shot. And I didn't see a lot of Black male representation in the space just to do that everyday fashion look, not so high fashion, just kind of that boy next door, J. Crew, Banana Republic vibe.
Right.
And I was like, I think I can fill that gap. I always say it's like not dressing for the office, and it's not dressing like too casual, like you're just at home, or it's like that in between where you just look presentable and you just have on a nice outfit and someone said, you know what, you just dress really well.
Yes.
You're not like overly preppy, but you don't look like a bum. I think that's where I come in and fill that gap. So that's what motivated me to do it. I really wanted to be the guy that has that Black male representation in this space.
Amazing.
Wow. And that was about 4.5 years ago now.
And you capture that very well. I mean, not many people have that creative talent. We were actually on the way here, we were actually hearing the book from Ray Dalio talking about some people just don't have the creative design in their mind and others do. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I most of the time, this dude dresses me like, hey, I got some suits for you. They're on the bed already. Let's match.
Yes.
I would probably not wear anything that would be extremely fashionable, but you just do it by talent, by nature. It's just like your calling.
Yes.
And some people don't have that. And obviously you show it very well. And it's one thing that I think a lot of people don't realize is if you don't have it, you don't have it, but you could also have other people in your circle. So we talk about circles a lot. So in your circles, do you have a circle of people that you usually absorb information from, or maybe people you read or people you watch TV on that may help you support what you're building? Absolutely.
Even coming into this, it was a struggle for me at times. Like I was buying outfits, taking them back. I couldn't afford it. My girlfriend at the time, she really helped me out financially. Cause I actually quit my job to go at this full time, and I didn't necessarily have enough money saved up. I wasn't even in an apartment. I was like renting a room in a house, but I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm gonna have to give it my all. And I know it's going to be a struggle. And I looked in the mirror. I made up my mind from the day that I wanted to do this. I was like, we're not going to stop until till the wheels fall off. And so I had a lot of help. I never say I'm self-made. I say I'm help-made. There's been a lot. My mom helped me a lot with just even being on the phone with her for 3 hours, just venting about ideas. And I used to always say to her, Mom, I'm gonna do this. I'm telling you, in 2 years, I'm gonna be that guy. Like, I'm gonna be making a living from this. It's just gonna take time. Like, people have to see me and I have to stick with it. So there was definitely a lot of help then. And there's a lot of help now. My buddy Nick, his name is Coastal Flicks on Instagram. He does the big boy fashion. My buddy Parker York Smith, he's killing the game. Wow. There's so many like influencer guys in the space who I look to and I look at their content. Just them posting every day inspires and motivates me. And then the way they do their styles and their outfits, some of them have families. We have a very positive environment. So
wow, that's fantastic.
Love that. And I love that you shout out your mom. She is somebody who inspired you. She would, kind of put you in this clothes. You have your nickname, Mr. Little, from it. And it actually opens even my mind up sometimes because, I am in real estate. And one thing that I do all the time is make sure that our suits and our style is always on point. And sometimes I wonder, like, where does my style, come from? And I remember that my mom, when she was in high school, she was best dressed, and she actually was somebody who would make our clothes as well. So when we were younger, we didn't have a lot of money. And our Halloween costumes, our mom actually had to make our Halloween costumes, and she would be with her sewing machine, and she'll be adding little.
I wish I had that skill.
Oh my
I wish
God.
I could sew.
I know, right? I still don't know how to sew, but she does. And sometimes I'm like, yo, I'm gonna take my coat to her and have her like sew it up. And you know, sometimes you you can't forget about these things where you came from. You know what I mean? Because even sometimes you get so lost in your line of work, like myself, real estate, and I even sometimes forget, like, where does this all come from? But, this comes from even my mom as well. She was a very fashionista as well, being best dressed in high school. In my mind, I'm like, well, I have to keep up with her and I have to be best dressed as well.
Yes.
And that's where our style comes from. So, it's nice to know where people, get their style from.
Yes.
But in obviously you being a fashion icon, one other thing that you you like to show other individuals is the cologne that you wear. That's something that you're a professional in. Do you have like 3 top colognes that you can tell us, like the secret ones that you probably have in your room? And you're like, we don't want nobody to smell like this but me.
Yeah.
If you can.
Yeah, I would say Parfums de Marley Layton is one.
Okay.
I would say Grand Soir by Mason Francis Kurkdjian. So he also makes with that brand Baccarat Rouge is one of the fragrances as well. And honestly, this one isn't a secret, but I still wear it, and people are always like, "What are you wearing? What are you wearing?" But I still love Dior Sauvage.
Okay.
I still like it's.
Oh my God.
It's what came out 2015, 16. They've had other iterations of it, but it's still probably my most complimented fragrance.
And on fragrances, like how much do you spend on like one of your nice fragrances? Because until we met you and we knew you were into fragrances and you taught us, basically, a fragrance for me that I thought was like a grand fragrance would be like $60. But like, what are you spending on a cologne that
That's
you
what I
feel
used to
good?
spend on fragrance. And I thought I was balling.
Right.
I was
Yeah, exactly.
60,
I'm like,
80,
great.
because I used to get all my fragrances as gifts from like family members, gifts, birthdays.
Right.
But then I started spending it on my own. I was like, 120. I don't know about that. So so that's like a good designer fragrance. But when you're buying niche fragrances like Parfums de Marley, like Creed, you're looking at 300 plus.
Oh wow.
I think the most money I spent on a fragrance was $460.
Oh my God.
Yep. Okay. And that was for that might have been for Grand Soir or Armouage Reflection Man. That's one of my favorites. But I think it was about four.
So you can totally expect us to buy these exact.
And they're gonna pop up on the screen too, so you guys can see exactly what they look like.
We're gonna rewind these and we're gonna literally try them on. We're gonna send you videos. See what you've done.
Yes. No, try them, because honestly, like, I don't know if you know Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue,
one of my favorites.
That's still. Like, I'll wear that and then I'll put on a 300 plus and like I'll get no compliments. I'll wear light blue and people are like, wow, what is that? And I'm like, I spent $30 on that.
Right.
Exactly. But there's no fun to that. It's like you want to wear the expensives. You want to wear something where someone does ask and you they don't even know how to pronounce the name. So you're like, don't worry about it. Just appreciate
well, and we're on the cologne topic, it is actually so important. So we're talking about cologne right now. A smell can be a difference from a deal closing, from a deal not closing, a relationship to not having a relationship. Could you touch a little bit why you got into the cologne? You know? Because it is very important.
Yes. Well, I've always known this, but in the military, they really drilled it into our heads. But perception is everything. And if you smell nice, then it's perceived that like you take care of yourself and you're clean. And maybe if you show up on time and you smell nice and you dress well, why wouldn't I do business with you?
Absolutely.
And I mean, it's the same. I tell guys the same with dating. That's a lot of, I preach this to a lot about dressing well and smelling good and just having a good presentation, is because like, you are like, if you approach a woman, maybe you're nervous, you don't know what to say to her, but like if you've taken care of your 50%, which is everything that you can control, which is like smell, sight, all those things, then you're going to feel more confident going into approach a woman or talking to her, even going on a first date, and I always say, like, why wouldn't you wear fragrance everywhere? You go into the grocery store, you're going to the mall to do some shopping. Right. Maybe you don't throw on your $300 nice one, but light blue might be good. Dior Sauvage might be good. Bleu de Chanel might be good. Just put on something. You never know when opportunity is going to come knocking, and you want to, even if you're not dressed well, if you smell good, that's still like something in your favor that could swing that deal your direction.
And that's huge in real estate, because if you think about it, we meet a lot of clients from all levels, from influencers to celebrities to even just the regular, Joe. And everybody does care about, how you present yourself. If you show up in jeans and they're baggy, you're like, well, is this guy really taking the job serious?
Right.
Versus styler jeans,
Yes.
versus styler shirt,
Yes.
or styler suits.
Right.
People will see that as they do take care of themselves. They
Of
smell
course.
good because we're always spraying like, so we can hold it up like a hairspray.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, all right, hold up. The whole room's all cloudy now.
Right.
But we're a little crazy, right? But, I mean, mind the hair and all the stuff that we're doing. But
Yes.
we believe in that so much. And that's what we were such fans of what you're posting on your your social media. Because we're like, this is exactly what we're all about that exposure of bringing out the inside. A lot of people don't put those colognes or they don't express a lot of their feelings on the outside because they're afraid of what people are going to say. I think colognes is another fragment of someone's imagination
100%.
coming out. So when you smell like the way you smell, we're like, hey, this guy smells classy, or he smells young, or he smells fresh. And that's something that is very inspiring to hear from you.
A big thing too is I go to a lot of networking events, and I'm out and about a lot, and smelling good, wearing a fragrance, it's a conversation starter.
Yes.
Especially like if you get close enough, like to hugs, maybe a friend introduces you and you hug someone and they're like, probably the first thing to think is he smells nice.
Exactly.
And they may not ask you right there, but maybe like later on the night, they're like, what were you wearing earlier? And then from there, maybe you do get into discussing business or, just develop a great friendship. And it's all because, you did a couple sprays of some fragrance,
Right. I mean, imagine how much more Paris Hilton looked at you when she gave you a kiss on the cheek because you had that amazing cologne.
It's probably what got me to kiss.
Exactly. And, and I love this so much because, you are actually educating individuals. You're educating me, you're educating Eli. And this even comes into our business world because some people who even join our teams in our business, they just don't know the culture of dress, how to dress correctly. And because of that, sometimes they lose deals, And even myself personally, I've been watching, your reels, your TikToks, everything you've been posting. And sometimes I'm like, ooh, I'm going to have to second guess wearing that because I should wear this instead. So, you are educating people, which can make them a lot of money because in our industry, when we help individuals, sellers, buyers, investors, we're helping people, it's a lot of work. We're making a great, check. But again, I probably wouldn't have had that confidence if I didn't walk out of that door that day, looking amazing or smelling amazing, because
I'll take you both. I hate to cut you off, but
not
just someone walking in here, let's say they're interviewing for a position to work here. It's kind of like the first test is to see how well they present themselves, like dressing for the occasion. Do you know how to dress for an interview?
Right.
Because then I'll know, okay, well, you can dress for this and you look professional, presentable. Then I can trust you going out into the field and doing open houses or whatever it may be. So a lot of times that's what a job interview is for. Yes, you can sit down and talk and everything, but what do you look like when you come in here? Like when I got my job at Best Buy, it was just for like an assistant manager position, but I went in a suit.
Yes.
And like, I kid you not, before I even sat down, they were like, listen, we love your resume. You pretty much got the job. You just got to go through this, because I really presented myself well. And it amazes me at how many guys in particular don't take that seriously.
Right.
Now, I do understand, like, you can be a very wealthy person. You make a lot of money. So really, you don't have to dress well. The tech guys and everything. But everyday guys trying to get promotions, moving and shaking in the world, trying to network. You need all the cards in your favor.
Definitely.
Please dress well. Please wear fragrance.
Definitely.
And you will find that things will swing in your favor a bit more, especially if you're single, especially.
Yes.
You're in a club, you're in a bar, you're talking to a girl and you smell nice. You're winning.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you this.
Agree.
I'll tell you this. I'm not single, and I still have to smell nice.
Yeah,
I'm not coming into the house and it's I smell good.
Yeah,
but
you can't get lazy.
Yeah, I can't get lazy because then they're gonna be like, you don't care about me.
Right.
But that's so important what you said because a lot of people believe in health is wealth. And I think actually adding presentation is wealth because how you look, how you take care of yourself. Obviously, health is wealth as well, but you could be severely healthy and not have the talent to know how to present yourself. Because I've seen people that are healthy and they dress like, well, what trash bag did you roll out of? No, it's true. I mean, sorry guys. I mean, if you're that person, please hear this podcast because he's right here.
And you're totally right. You said that you're surprised on how many, male or female, are that they're not just going out there and, putting on a suit or dressing the part, right? I mean, we have open houses all the time and you wouldn't believe how many real estate agents, and right now there's people in line for homes because that's just how the market is. Right. And every buyer has a real estate agent and you're literally standing in line. I will go down the line and I will literally be the only one in a suit and a tie. And some other agents are in this line with just a t-shirt and they're selling $1 million home. And in my mind, I'm like, I don't believe you're representing your client correctly, because you need to show up. You need to show you have power. You need to show that you're serious, and when you show up to a job site where, you're selling potentially millions of dollars, and you show up maybe just in a shirt, rather a suit or dressed for the part, then you could literally be losing out on business. And so many individuals are doing this today, when you could just be a little bit educated from Mr. Little, or, go out there and learn how to, do a tie or whatever it could take can change your whole world.
And just have a style. Like maybe you only wear suits and like just more dapper clothing. Like that can be your style. You can be more casual, expressive, like the outfit I'm wearing right now. You can be just a casual. I used to be the casual t-shirt, jeans, boots guy. That's probably the guy I would be if I wasn't getting sent so many clothes and so crazy about shopping and retail therapy. I would probably have a t-shirt, a denim jacket or a leather jacket, a really, really great pair of fitted jeans, probably darker denim, and a pair of boots and a pair of white sneakers. Like you're ready for any occasion.
And that's true. The way you put it in that aspect is like that even is more professional than what I even see these agents who have licenses who are making hundreds of thousands of dollars are doing. You know what I mean? So you can even dress down. It doesn't have to be a suit, but depending on the way you put it together and how much you care about that outfit you're putting on, it's going to show. And, so many people are like standing in lines and they just don't care. And that's when it shows, it's like, wow, you don't even care about yourself. How are you going to care about your partners, your clients, your buyers, your investors, or whoever you're working with?
Right.
You know,
and even taking that a step further, like let's say you don't have a lot of money. Let's say, you're just not as educated when it comes to fashion. You don't want to watch myself or YouTube videos.
Right.
Just iron your clothes, steam your clothes, take your stuff to the dry cleaning. Just make sure it's clean. Again, make sure you smell nice. Make sure you match. You have complementary colors on. You don't have to be into fashion, but to your point, presentation is a big part. If you have even if you're having a nice outfit and your shirt's wrinkled, it's like, ugh.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to do business with you, man. The attention to detail isn't there. So just having just good presentation is just monumental when it comes to doing good business with people.
How do you believe about accessories? Because you're very accessorized.
Yes.
We have rings. We usually wear a lot more rings than what we have.
Yes.
So is accessorizing very important in the way you dress?
Yes, I think just at minimum a watch, a nice watch. And I'm not big into like luxury expensive watches, but just a watch that complements the outfit. Maybe one bracelet, and if it's right for the outfit, just throw on a necklace.
Right.
And there's so many affordable brands now. Like you don't like back in the day it was like, I don't know if you remember being in the mall, but like the Asian carts selling the gold jewelry in there. It's not like it's not like it's so many brands now that you can check out that you can get a nice $60, $70 necklace, $30-$40 that just complements the outfit. Especially if you're just wearing a white t-shirt, jeans and boots. You want to add a little something to it. So a nice watch, a single bracelet, a nice necklace, you're good to go.
Right.
My secret sauce is always my eyewear though.
Oh, God.
Yeah, the key shades. Yes, it puts it over the top.
Little today.
All right.
Let's go.
I have to get some pointers from you because I totally need some glasses. Obviously, I'm not wearing any. So
I got you.
All right, I'm gonna hit you up for that.
100%.
And so I know we're talking about fashion and all this, sparkly stuff and all the medallions. But one thing that you also do is, you help individuals with mental health as well. And I kind of want to know how you got into the mental health sector. Was there something that you went through in your past life where, now you're like, well, I went through something, so now I have to help others because I know, I went through it. Where did all this, mental health help come from?
Of course. So we all go through like our struggles every single day and coming up. And I think that, like, I wouldn't say like I've made it, but I'm doing well for myself. But I don't forget that there's others trying to get to my point as well in their particular career. They're trying to get to a point where it's like, I've made it, I've done it. And along the way, you really want to give up a lot.
Right.
I did depression post recently, and I more so did that post to let people know, like, hey, just because you think I've made it, or you think I this money, and it's like I still go through everything just like you, and I still have to take those steps when I'm going through something to make it through, to keep going. It's like it doesn't stop. Like life doesn't stop, your career doesn't stop. Even if you get to the top, you have to stay at the top. If you want to continue to live the lifestyle you've been living, you have to keep business going, keep the money coming in. So I got into it just understanding that, yes, you've made it to a point where you have accomplished a lot of your goals, but don't forget there's other people coming along as well, that your struggle days, you need to put that out there. You need to let people know, hey, even at this point, you're going to struggle as well. Keep going, keep pushing, celebrate your small victories, just keep grinding. Surround yourself with people. That's also, we talked about the earth. Surround yourself with individuals that are going to like preach positivity to you and not be preying on your downfall. So
I seriously love that, because we had to change our circle a couple of times already. Luckily, we have really good people, positive people in our circle right now. And you brought up the fact of, people do have a lot of depression. People, yes. I think everything since post COVID, yes. People are having a harder time getting out of finding an escape route of what they're stuck in. People are becoming more couch potatoes. They're staying home more often. They're ordering Instacart, or we even were subject to that a couple of times.
Yes.
And some people gave up immediately right after. And now getting back to where they're at right now, because the momentum was lost, they still can't recover. And a lot of people, whether they're watching us or whether they're out there and fighting the storm, they're having a hard time. Did you suffer at all, or did you go through any depression moments during the COVID period?
Yes. There was a point with COVID where I was like, I don't even know if I want to do this anymore. Just because everything seems so meek and just like we're never going to get out of this time. We were like sneaking to hang out with each other.
I think we were all doing that.
And of course I was making videos, but for myself, like a lot of my successful videos came like out and about, being out, taking pictures and things. And it was hard to work with photographers because a lot of people were just like, hey, I'm not really doing that right now.
Right.
So it definitely was a time where it was like, hopefully we come out of this where I can continue to do what I'm doing. I think at the time I did have a girlfriend, so that was a good thing, but she was in Arizona, I was in Seattle. So it was a tough time for everybody, but luckily like TikTok came along and you can start making videos in your home and Instagram videos that like still connecting with people,
right?
Just not like in person.
Yeah.
But no, go ahead.
No, and a lot of people forgot like literally how to dress during COVID. A lot of people, literally. It was like, let's just be in our pajamas all day. Let's, a lot of people kind of got lazy because of the situation at hand. And you, not only are you educating people, but you are also inspiring people to kind of pull them out of that rut that they were in. When I was watching your videos, there was days where I was in pajamas and I'm like, oh my God, like this individual is over here dressing to the T. And I'm like, what am I doing in pajamas? Like, get this out of your head that it's not COVID anymore, because this is like a year or two after COVID. And I'm like, you can't just stay in this mindset. No. So, again, the reels, the videos you make, not only is it educating people, but it's also inspiring them too. And it can literally pull somebody out of the dark. Literally, it could pull somebody out of somebody who's been in their room in pajamas for weeks at end, and they see your post and it just inspires them to be like, what, get up and get out there and, maybe put a little change of clothes on so you could truly be better in this world,
Have you ever considered creating like an educational course or something about your fashion statement and what you do? Because I think things like this can be monetized in such a way. And again, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if I went that deep in your social media platform, but do you do that already, or is that something that has crossed your mind?
No, it's definitely something that's crossed my mind. I recently talked to my agency about that, as well as starting my own brand. I won't get into it.
I'm excited.
Too much, but
okay.
I can see your brand right behind us right now. Oh my God, I see it.
Heard it first.
But absolutely. I've actually thought about when I'm not doing this anymore, like just being a coach, being a mentor. Wow. I've never really had the aspiration like be a stylist or a personal shopper, but just more like a life coach for men, especially like just, where you are at this point in your life, how do you move forward? And at the foundation of that would be fashion, would be your appearance first. Go get your hair cut, go to the dentist, take care of your teeth, like look, get a face routine, get your shower, look better first, get yourself well manicured, and then let's see how we can tackle your goals, because it's going to be much easier to deal with people when yourself is together. So much easier from your own confidence, and then people having confidence in you to hire you or just to work with you.
Yes.
Or, again, back to dating, like it's someone's going to trust you a lot more when you look like you've got it going, even though you don't have it together.
Yes.
Or maybe things are a little rocky in your life. present yourself well, and you can stumble your way through when you look good.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And, having so many followers on Instagram, TikTok, being seen so much, has this, got eyes on you, maybe like in the celebrity world and the world of fashion? Has social media been something that has catapulted you into this area, of individuals?
Yeah. Even the event I was at recently for Kayali, the fragrance brand, Mona, working with her, and like Jackie Aina was there, and some of these bigger names, like these are like mega influencers.
Yes.
Being around TikTok, I was with Bryce Hall, even. He was at the Paris Hilton event, but I think I've seen him again somewhere else. And being in these rooms, having these conversations, learning, and just being a sponge. Because I look at me as being like in a very niche space, and it's just allowed me to be in rooms with people who I never thought I'd be in rooms with. Even some of my friends are like actors, musicians, and the people in the fitness industry that has large followings, and like, hey, I follow you. And I'm like, what? You got like millions of followers. You follow me. Exactly. I have like Olympic swimmers that follow me, and football players.
Wow.
And so it is really cool that, as you were just discussing, like, inspiring people. People that I don't even know is watching me, is watching me. So that's really cool that my message is getting out there like that.
Love that.
And it's so powerful too, because the power of social media has that ability to influence now. But even more than the news, I think the news has really turned it on to just become sour in the day, because it's just bad news all day nonstop, and we don't even watch it anymore. We don't have cable. It's basically either YouTube TV or such. But people that are watching realize the fact that individuals like you and Rashad, myself and Mike, we've been through depression periods. We've been through moments that we've lost all our money, or we lost some credible relationships. We fell, but we rebuilt, and we fall and get up. And it's a process. I'm sure you probably are going through might go through another hiccup. Who knows, right? We all are subject to it. But post the whole COVID stuff, we all suffered. But you guys can get out. You went through that depression stage, and you also are now educating. Hey, I got out. We got out. We can now do this, because it's not easy, but it's also not hard to just realize the facts that, hey, wake up. Everybody goes through it. It's not, you're not subjectly being picked on by the world or by, we'll say, God or anybody, that you are a bad human being. The fact is, everybody's going through it, and you're a great living example of it, because you are a Black man, right? We are also Mexican, and we've came from different origins. We weren't born rich.
No.
We were not. And a lot of you viewers probably were not as well. And it's a hard thing to accept. And you're like, I'm going to break through. I'm going to create this new world for myself and my mom and our dads. And look at you now. Like, seriously, you're in this podcast center on Sunset in Hollywood, creating this amazing movement. We were hanging out with Paris Hilton, like, hello, like, what's happening here? And it's just astonishing, and it gives us both goosebumps. Trust me, because we were telling me earlier, he's got goosebumps to see you today. And just to know that you have escaped, and now you have all this going for you, and it's just it's really thrilling to see it.
I want to piggyback on what you said too about like almost being the only one in your family to be the first one in this kind of a position.
Yes,
because the lights are bright here in LA,
right? And
especially when you have a following, you've built yourself up, and you've got to the point you want to get to. Now it's the pressure to stay at that level. You might have like financial obligations for family or for loved ones. And that can also add to your depression, because you feel like you can't stop.
Right.
You feel like you just got to keep going. You feel like you got to be perfect. You got to be strong. It's almost like, who do you lean on? When you are the one, like sometimes we get to this position, there's not many people you can call that will understand, especially family and friends. You may be the one where it's like, no, we call you, So again, that's where therapy is huge, and having just my circle of friends who are like doing exactly the same way I'm doing, or a significant other. But I just wanted to say, it can be difficult being the only individual that makes it to be successful, and it's important to recognize that and kind of just sit with that for a little bit, and then be like, okay, how do I work through this? What are my resources? And like I said, it could be therapy, could be a loved one. But I just think that's important to say, because I'm sure some others are going through that as well. And to your point, like, we're going to get through it.
That was literally like so heart touching, because, literally, I think we're some of those people as well who kind of are a lot of individuals on our shoulders. And when time comes to talk to another individual, you're like, who do I call, And like you said, sometimes you just have to reach out and maybe get a little bit of therapy, or, you know, talk to your close circle of friends that, you know, you can trust. Maybe you're not helping them and they have a little bit of time and you call them. So it's actually very important to have that circle, you know, when, especially if you're the one holding everyone on your shoulders, because, you know, that was just so heart touching. I almost cried. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
And so is that, you know, a couple things that you've done to make sure that you can stay at the top? Because I know there's a lot of people here watching that are at the top. You know, you are in your career where you're doing so well. But again, if you're holding everybody on your shoulders, you might need somebody to talk to, or just like you know, you went to your circle. And so these are the individuals who helped you. Do you have somebody right now that you can go to, like a therapist, if those days come about?
Yeah, I do. But even not even going to people, I take breaks. Like, I will take a 2-week break. People will ask me, so where are you, Rashad? Yes. I'm taking a break. Yes. You know, I'm just at home, laying in bed.
Right.
I'm not doing the dishes for a couple of days. I'm ordering pizza.
Exactly.
You know, I'm just going to go hang out and not recording anything. Like, I'm literally just taking some time for myself. And that's so important when your life is based off of social media or just or anything that has to do with outward projection. Like, you have to show yourself and show what you're doing. You need some time for you. Sometimes I do miss the days where, because before I got into social media, I took 2 years off social media. 2 years completely, no Facebook, no Instagram, TikTok, anything. This was like 2016 to 18.
Oh, wow.
And that's when I was just really, that's when I just worked and spent time with family. But I needed that time because I was like, if I ever am going to do this, like, I have to like treat it as a business for one. And I have to be ready to not stop. Because once you start and once you gain the notoriety, it's here now.
That's right.
You know? So yeah, I would say, like, some of my biggest pieces of advice is take a break. And just go do whatever. You go to the beach, take a vacation. I'm not a big vacation person. I vacation in my apartment. But
I love
just
that.
I like to watch movies. I like to scroll on TikTok or Instagram for 4 hours, like, and just laugh, you know, take a break and then get back to work whenever you're ready. Someone gave me a great piece of advice. They said, the audience you've built, they're going to be there when you come back. You built that audience. You have curated your content that way. You can let them know you're going to take a break, or you cannot, but you control this. That's the beauty of social media, is you build it. Like, no one's giving it to you. You build it. So you take control when you need to. And then when you come back, most of 99% of people now understand mental health and breaks are needed. So don't be afraid to take that break.
That's so beautifully spoken, because, you know, we obviously are not the best at taking breaks, and we should. I mean, all this flaunting that we do on social media, like the Ferraris, the fashion statements, the real estate mansions that we go to. It's
Can
really
I take
all.
a ride with you one day? Just one day, a ride in one of the Ferraris.
You're gonna have to drive the bro. You're gonna drive the bro. Yeah,
that's a done thing. That's happening. But you know, it really is marketing. It really that's the main thing, and you know, it comes and goes with everything that we do, right? I'm sure people watch your content and they're like, they either love you or they hate you, or sometimes they're just silent. They're just watching, right? So we also have our share as well. We either get good content, or we get people that just don't like it. And that's such a good thing to know, that you're very focused on it. And then your viewers who do love you, they're going to definitely be there. And I honestly, I was always concerned with the fact that the moment we stop posting, they're all gone. And I actually love that you said it, because I am hugely a fanatic of worrying. I worry all the time about like, what if I don't post today? What if I miss on, I'm supposed to post 10 stories, like what's happening? So I'm big on that, because I feel like marketing, I feel like you said, the momentum, once it starts, you just go and go and go, and you can't stop it. But I think it's great, because he's better at, let's take a little bit of a break. You're a little bit too much on social media right now. You're posting every single second. And I'm not one for that. I'm like, no, they're going to forget about us.
We got to keep it going. And it's what you said. It's not you don't lose your following or your influence. You just lose your momentum when you take a break.
True.
But if you're a true creative, if you're truly passionate and you love what you do, you'll gain it right back. It may like, for myself, sometimes it takes a couple posts, it takes a couple ideas. But I'll get the momentum back. You know what I mean?
Instead of losing it all, right?
Right. But so like, if you don't take the break, and you don't, because you have to sacrifice something for yourself. So okay, sacrifice a little momentum. when you'll come back refreshed. You'll come back with better ideas,
Wow.
brighter ideas. You'll come back ready to collaborate with some people you didn't collaborate with before. So, and this space is constantly changing. During your break, it may change and it may be actually more in your favor. You know, it may be some new trend going on or something.
Right.
So, don't be afraid to do it.
Definitely take that break, people, because it's very important. And like Eli said, you know, sometimes we forget, you know, we're up at 4 a.m. We're going to sleep at, 12 at night. Sometimes we have 4 hours of sleep and then we're doing it all over again. And, you know, we're individuals who are questioning ourselves at, 10 p.m. at night after working from 4 a.m. You know, we're sitting there and we're like, hey, we're kind of done with work, but is this even okay? Like, what else do we have to do? And I'm like, hey, it's like 10:30. I think we can take a break. But again, it's like 5 minutes of questioning ourselves. Like, oh, wait, what else is there to do? Did we work enough? And we're just every single minute just trying to work. But, it's so great to, meet individuals who are working just as hard as us, like you. And you're able to say, hey, don't worry, like take a break. Everything's going to be okay. And you sometimes need to be reminded of that, and I think today you reminded us of that. And again, what that could do for us can literally catapult our business to the top,
I'll give a quick story about that. I don't know if you all remember my snapping trend from last year. I will be one of the greatest. And he was changing the outfits.
Oh, yes.
yeah.
So, yes.
But that was probably one of the biggest trends of last year. And I made that trend like off of a 2 or 3 week break. I just came back and that's why
that was like the hugest trend ever.
It was arguably the biggest trend last year.
Yes.
But what happened was the song came out during my break and I was scrolling on TikTok and heard the song and got the idea. So that's what I mean by taking a break. Things are still moving and you're not contributing to the space right now, but the space is still moving. And maybe like myself, when I take a break, I'm just more like on a comedy side of TikTok. I love the cooking side too. I love the pets, motivational speeches. But then when I'm kind of coming back to the space and get ready to create, I'll start looking at creators. I'll start looking at, different songs or different trends. And I saw that song and then I got the idea, did the trend, and the rest is history. But I'm saying, when you do take a break, you said it actually could be to your benefit. It's to your benefit for your mental health and for your career. It just doesn't seem like it because you're not contributing. I struggle with that too. Like I'll be dating someone, I'll be like, I just feel like a bum. I feel like I'm not doing anything. I'm not creating. And I've always just been told you have to give yourself grace. And if you feel like you need to take a break, it's because you do need to take a break.
And if you're dedicated, like you said, it comes back.
It comes back.
And being a dedicated individual as well, like you said, when you are taking a break, somebody who is dedicated, you're taking a break, but your mind is, like you said, there's still the moving parts. Your mind being that dedicated person, you're still thinking in the back of your head, maybe I'll have a couple of deals next week, or you're kind of already planning in your head because you're that driven individual. So this is why you're saying it's okay, especially if you're a driven individual, somebody who's working all the time, take that break, but don't think for a second that your mind's not going to be moving, because remember, you are driven and it will be in your mind, kind of like you. You heard that song and it literally became one of the biggest trends ever. And, your mind was working though. You were on rest mode, but your mind immediately, when it heard that, it thought business. It thought I could do something with it. And you made something happen out of it. You just didn't let it sit there.
Exactly.
It kind of gave me some peace too when you're in rest mode or you're on vacation. Let's say you're in Bali somewhere and you do get an idea and you're like, you know what, when I get back, I'm going to do that. But I got an idea out here. Even though I'm not working, I got an idea. It makes me feel good that I got something when I get back. So I can I can relax and just rest assured that I'm still in the game. I'm just out the game. But I'm coming back strong now. I'm coming back strong.
Right. Yes.
So beyond all this positivity, obviously there's such good energy in this room, and this what you're drinking smells delicious, by the way. It's coming into my nose.
My God.
But I can't drink right now. We're on this crazy 45-day fitness challenge.
Oh, okay,
I cannot drink or have any good stuff, apparently. Just grilled chicken and rice, apparently. But is there or has there been the moment where you feel it's game over, it happened? And if you don't mind sharing, maybe people can feel with this. And what has been one time in your life, at least maybe in the last 10 years, that something just went wrong? And if you could elaborate on it, exactly what happened.
I'll never forget it. August 2019, like I started having like suicidal thoughts. My girlfriend at the time, thank God for her. Like she she really was just so positive and just in my corner. But like I was literally depressed, like literally in bed, not moving, not wanting to do anything, barely was eating. Because my career was not taking off, I had quit my job. I had got my bartender's license, but I decided not to do bartending because I thought it would take too much time away from like creating. I was trying to do YouTube at the time. I just was really trying to like be really successful. Thank you. And it just wasn't, I didn't have like any fresh money coming in. And I was just out of it. You know, I really, really was out of it. But what happened was, I'll never forget, I got an email from Banana Republic that they wanted to do a collaboration with me.
Wow.
And it brought me out of it. But I had to, it was like every day though, just seems like, why am I here? Like literally I have zero purpose. Like no one's seeing what I'm doing. And I had like a couple thousand followers, but like I was just thinking so big and I wanted to get there like now.
Yes.
That it was just like, I don't think I'm ever going to get there. And I've kind of given everything up for this. And it's going to be so much work to try to undo and go into a different direction that I didn't really have a backup plan.
Right.
And I didn't have a plan B. So yeah, that was definitely a very dark time for me where I was definitely like, yeah, I really don't want to be here anymore.
You know, so many people can share that experience. I haven't, fortunately, I haven't had any of that particular experience. I've had other real hard ones that have been intense, but a lot of viewers, you guys, suicidal thoughts, depression, like that stuff is real.
It's so real.
And influencers like Rashad, big people, even like Paris Hilton, huge people have gone through such dramatic situations in their life, and you can recover. You just have to, in your case, you had your girlfriend at that time that helped you. Sometimes when I'm feeling very low, he'll help me. We help each other. Having the right partner at the right time also does help. Even if you're not with them, sometimes your circle, like we talked about earlier, is everything. So just know there's always a way to exit these problems and become something or a better version of yourself. And I think you've become this King Rashad will say, you're a new version of your 2019 self. And now you just look back and we're like, wow, like that happened to me. And now I'm just not ever going to look back.
Yeah. And it's also something that I'm not afraid to talk about, because I did make it through and I just need one other person to do the same.
Yes.
Because unfortunately, everyone does not make it through those dark times. And also everyone doesn't make it to they don't get to that point of their career that they want to get to. And that could make you depressed as well. Like, maybe like an athlete that gets injured and just never gets to the point that they want to get to, a real estate agent. I don't know, something happens. They have a traumatic injury.
Yes.
And maybe they're in the hospital for 6 months. Yes. And the game passes them by, they never get it back.
Right.
So it's important to talk about just that this too shall pass. I know that sounds a little cliche, but it's true. And who knows how long, but like, it's every day.
Yes.
It's every day.
Yes.
It's every day. It's slow progress. It's picking up a new hobby. It's getting into fitness. It's reading a new book. It's saying yes to that friend that's saying, hey, you want to go out to the botanical garden today? Just walk around.
Yes.
Say yes. Don't keep yourself bottled up. And that's what I said in my post. It was like, go out. Be outside. Don't just stay cooped up in your place. I know that's what you want to do. Right. But get out there and just keep trying. You will figure it out.
And that's so powerful because, and I'm so happy that you shared this today because it could just help one person, and that's, saving a life, literally. Yes. And if you're watching, you were laying in bed, you were depressed, you were doing nothing but eating, you were down in the dark. And now you're sitting here today on the Sunset Strip. You have, over 500,000 followers on Instagram, 650,000 plus on TikTok. You're sitting here with the best smell ever. This is like the best smell ever. And then, with the best outfits.
Sipping some of the best rum.
And also with some of the best energy. So, this is like,
amazing.
This is something that a lot of people look for and want to be. But, if they don't ever hear the story that you went through a time where you were also depressed and you were in the dark and you were laying down, eating and just not caring about your life, but you were able to pull yourself out of it and be here today, they may never be able to pull themselves out either. Yes. And so by you sharing that today, it just could help 1 or 100 or 1,000. And even if it is just one life is a life. And that means so much, so that is very touching that you shared with us that today.
And you took off the lucky card. Like they're not going to look at you or us and be like, oh, they're just lucky. They grew up rich. Look at them. They're in Sunset Strip. They got money. It's not about that. Like we did bleed and we still bleed now. Yes. And it's not easy to wake up at 4, whatever time you wake up and say, all right, let's do this all over again and try this and see if it works. and it's always there's always a beginning and an end, and at the end you got to do whatever it takes to get to the next level, and it's always challenging. I mean, even to this day, we still have to do everything we do, and we're not where we want to be, but we are slowly getting there, and it takes a lot of patience, a lot of courage, and definitely the confidence helps because we've done it for a long time, so that helps dramatically. But people like yourself, they have gone through so much, and yet you still have, you know, from your wisdom and the information you're providing to us, you still have, from what I think, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, you have so much more to go still. Are you in your 20s?
32.
So you look very young. You're still very young. 32 is a very actually I heard 30s in the new 20s nowadays.
It
even
seems
teens.
like that. You know what I mean? Seriously.
You probably got rid of this and you look like you're 18.
You know, that's why I have it, because I'm like, I finally can grow a beard. Let me basking this for a few years. But you know, it's like the things that you accomplish and making it through the tough times or getting to certain milestones of your career, accomplishing goals, that is what gives you the confidence to like combat against the uncertainty, because we still do experience a lot of uncertainty in our careers. I know I'm at the top, but I still sometimes compare myself. I'm sure it's super competitive. It is super competitive in the real estate field, and sometimes you compare yourself. You're a little uncertain about decisions, but it's those small wins that you accomplish each and every time. That's like, you know, no, I'm gonna make it through this too and this too. So we just have to keep that in mind. Like, the challenges don't stop. Life doesn't stop. We have to embrace that and purposely surround ourselves with positivity, like on this podcast, and you know, an amazing work environment, and surround ourselves with things that is gonna like fortify our ability to overcome.
Right. And
I love that. And
are you, you know, in the point of your life right now, are you satisfied, or do you feel like this is not enough?
I'm at the point in my life where I'm really happy, and I've made some recent changes in my career. I had a conversation with my agency about 2 or 3 weeks back. About some changes that needed to be made with my brand to just be more successful. And because again, the social media space, it changes so frequently. And right now it's more lifestyle content, more realism. We were speaking about that earlier, like just talking in front of the camera. So I had to make those changes, and I believe I've found some things that I can really stick with. So I'm at a very good point, and I think I'm more at the authenticity point. I'm not really worried about growth at this point. Like, of course I want to get to 1 million, but I really just want to give immense value. You know, Fantastic. I think that I've been in this game for 4.5 going on 5 years. And like, it's time for me to really give people my wisdom and really just show my authentic self, for lack of a better term, like stop giving an F. You know, it doesn't have to be so curated now. Just get on screen and talk about what you want to talk about, do what you want to do, and understand that some people is going to love it and understand it. It may go viral, may not, but it's out there.
I love your honesty. And then you know what? Just so you know, the moment you have your branding event or a big release party, we're going to be there.
The invites are in
with our shiny cards. Oh, yeah, we're going to definitely be there because we cannot wait. And we're going to call you and say, hey, which cologne? Work for your event. We're going to be there doing
And I need you both dressed like this.
Okay. That's a done deal.
We're going to need the character, the energy in the room. I need everyone asking who you both are.
Oh my God. Thank you for that.
So we're getting to almost to the end of the podcast, and one of the biggest things we ask is, you know, what you see yourself in the future. So one big thing is we ask is 5 years from now, you know, you brought up, you already been doing this for 4.5 years consistently. So 5 years from now, that would make it almost 10 years. Where do you want to be? What does the Rashad look like when you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, all right, 5 years from now, this is who I'm going to be? What do you see yourself as?
Hopefully a father. Father.
Love this.
Hopefully a husband.
Love it.
Hopefully not creating content so frequently, but more behind the scenes things. Like I'm currently, and I was going to talk to you both about this, but getting into real estate this year. I've already made some really good investments on my end that's into fruition now, so that I don't have to necessarily depend on this. But still doing, but like, even if I'm not in content, I see it, like, I still want to help. I still want to have just as much impact, but maybe behind the scenes, more one-on-one coaching, seminars. Just someone that's come in the game as one of the first, has done it, has been successful, and now is paying that forward. And not necessarily trying to get guys to come to social media, but trying to get you to think about what your purpose is and how to go for it, where your mentality needs to be, how you need to carry yourself. And of course, probably fashion and presentation and
Yes.
and fitness and fragrance is probably all going to be at the forefront of that, and just teaching guys how to develop that mindset and keep it so they'd be successful. So all those things, I hope, in the next 5 years.
Love it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you know, I'll be honest with you. I feel like wealth, healthy people,
Yes.
good positive energy,
Okay.
all that stuff is going to follow you automatically. Like your eyes I tell Mike, I just know how to read eyes, and you have this easy to read mind. Like, it's like, I'm just here. I'm who I am, and I do whatever I can and build whatever I can. And if you want to join me, let's go. If not, hey, no hard feelings, you know?
And I want to say this too. I want to say that social media definitely does not define me. It's just what I do for a career. It's an amazing career. I wake up every day and I feel blessed. I thank God every day I wake up. But I'm my mother's son at the end of the day. Like, I go home and my little brothers, they just want to jump on me. My dog, you know, at home just wants to come say hi to me, you know? When I meet people on just out and about and have friends, like, they don't care about what I do.
Right.
You know, and I think just keeping that is what's most important. That's what I really hang on to the most. I don't hang on to the number of followers. Of course I got to keep the money coming in, but so I have to do my job well, but that's when someone's talking to me, that's the last thing I mention is what I do. It's like, hey, I'm Rashad first and foremost. And I hope we can go the whole night, whatever conversation, and you'll probably find out later that I'm an influencer, but it just doesn't define me. What defines me is like, I've always kind of lived by this, but like what you do behind closed doors.
Yes.
You know what I mean? What you do when no one's watching.
Yes.
Right.
That's what I try to just have the best intent and live with some integrity, as much integrity as I can. We're not perfect, but yeah, I really try not to let the fame and all that run my mind and who I am.
That is such a good question. So everybody watching seriously should ask themselves, what do you do behind the scenes? Like, what is it that you're doing when no one's watching?
Right.
That is so deep. Because seriously, when you're in your pajamas or you're just home watching TV or you're alone, the lights are off or the lights are on, who knows, whatever it is, what are you doing? And then again, you know, we don't need to know, but the fact is that alone does define you. And you're right, that alone makes you be, because that's a real you.
Yes.
That is not the, you know, we were watching Paris Hilton's documentary again yesterday, and we were like, she creates this image of what people want to see because it works. It's her marketing. It's her genius, right? Same thing with the Kardashians. They do the same exact thing. You're doing it. This image that we create, dressed up in suits, in Ferraris and stuff, is also an image. Behind the scenes, me and Mike are, I mean, should we even say,
pajamas,
playing video games, and we do not care.
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
Yeah, exactly.
And we have our dogs and our cat jumping on us too. But it's so amazing to hear that truthness from you, because all these people watching, you guys are exactly like us. And it's insane. That's why we do these podcasts, because we want people to realize that it's not being different. It's actually being the same like everybody else. We're just showing you a way that works for us. Something else might work for you guys. So that's just something that I feel like resonated with me right now with what you said, is what you do behind the scenes is very, very impactful to me right now.
And if you look in the mirror and you're not happy with what you're doing, like behind the scenes, or what your intent is, when you're on your knees at night, pray that God fixes that for you. Pray that he purifies your heart, that he purifies your intentions, and pray for forgiveness, you know, and be able to accept that you're imperfect, and then do better the next day. That's you know, you can update your resume every day in life.
Amazing.
You know, so
I love that. I love that so much. I actually just have one final question.
Of course,
And I know we were gonna cut it off, but I need to know this.
Ask away.
I need to know this. So, what do you believe when it comes to like law of attraction and manifestation? Are you an individual who believes in this?
100%. 100. And I have to go back to dating.
Okay.
I date a lot, by the way.
I
like to date. I love women. I love that interaction. It's very I don't know. It's like, love is beautiful,
right?
You know, connection is beautiful. You know, however you identify like being a significant other, that is a beautiful relationship. So yes, I believe that the more I improve myself, the more I do purify my intentions. The more I'm honest, you know, because again, we're not mind readers. We don't know what someone else is thinking, but the more of those things I can be, the better partner I'll attract.
Yes.
I do. So, but that's also in business as well. Like the harder you work, or the more intentional you are about the message you're putting out there, or the marketing you're doing, the research you're doing, you're gonna do better business.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
I'm very much law of attraction.
Love
And
that.
I think subconsciously I'm like that. Like
Yes.
I gotta keep doing. I gotta you know
Right.
because I want
Same.
good people around me.
Yes,
You know?
exactly. Yes, definitely.
And I think that's
Love that.
important because good people do lift you up.
Yes.
And if you're not down, they lift you up even more, and it makes you feel like that godlike feeling, like wow, like I feel unstoppable because my
Yes.
circle just keeps supporting everything that happens, and I love that. So, just to end it, I wanted to no more questions though, but
We have so many.
Yeah, I would have more questions, but you're amazing in this
Yeah.
podcast. I seriously, we're honored that you came here with us, and our viewers are definitely gonna love it.
Yes.
So guys, just wanted to see if you guys want to follow Rashad. Where can they follow you? What are some of the platforms? They can follow
So
you at?
it's at Mr. Little on all platforms. M2Rs Little. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram mostly, but you can find me on YouTube. I have some older videos on there doing more
Awesome.
long form content. I need to get back to doing longer form content, but we'll get there. And I'm also going to be on new platforms as well. Lemon8's a new platform.
Okay.
Facebook. I'm on
Yes,
Facebook as well.
yes.
So yes, you can find me, Mr. Little, everywhere.
Mr.
Fantastic.
Little.
So guys, so stay tuned. We're going to be releasing this podcast on Sunday like we always do. So expect it this Sunday, being that it's almost summer, we release it on Sunday at 7 p.m. And we're obviously going to collaborate in some of the reels we'll be releasing. Probably about 2 to 3 reels.
Yeah.
So guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Everybody on Instagram, thanks so much.
Yeah.
Love you guys. Rashad, we give it to you, man.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Mr.
much
Little.
for everything.
Thank you both for
Appreciate you.
having me.
Thank you so much. Loves
Thank you.
it.
Thank you. Thank you.